So hello everyone, we are live on Twitch, right? So as the topic says, we have started streaming after a long period of time. So from today we'll be continuing the streaming, and for today I will be creating a new CLI tool, a funny type. So let's get started creating a fun CLI tool. That is the dev timer. So we'll be creating a CLI tool in C, that is dev timer, so we can start the time and track the time. So it's basically for developer, a fun one, right? So is that all okay? So let's get started. So let's create a file here. I think it should be visible now. It's visible. So today I'm using light mode. So I'll include all the headers. H. So we are working with time, so we can include time.h. Time.h. So it's visual, right? So let's start with the main function. So our tool will like this. So dev timer will have a follow function, dev timer start, similarly dev timer stop, and another one dev timer stats, I think. So this CLI tool will provide three commands: so dev timer start, dev timer stop, and dev stats for the stats, right? So we'll be implementing these three commands, right? So let's get started. So basically, firstly we have to parse this. So I'll just do 0 for now. So initially, if the argument count will be 2, I think. So if it's greater than 2, we will print the uses of the CLI tool. So what we can have is, if argument count is not equal to 2, so it will always be true. So if count is not equal to 2, so we can print something usage. So usage will be something /n to step dev timer start, or /n to space dev timer stop /n dev timer stats. So and we'll return just 1, right? So we'll do this. So we have main.c, right? So if the argument count is greater than or equal to 2, so it will be good. So pg minus out dev timer and main.c. So dev timer start, so it will work if the argument count is not equal to 2, so it will show the uses like this, right? So after that we have to switch the cases according to the second parameter, that is start, stop, or stats. So we have to compare this, right? So what can I have is, we can have something like the if else, if strcmp, so it will need string.h. If the argument value of 1 will be what, start, so I think is equal to 0, right? So here we will have the start function. So else if argument value of 1, sorry, strcmp of argument value of 1 will be stop, then we simply call the stop function, and else if you have the argument value of 1 will be stats, then we'll just call the stats function, and else we'll show the usage, right? So we can have usage in separate function. So void print usage, so it will basically, so print this. Instead of that, what you can have is print usage. So similarly we have print usage and return 1, right? So let's try it. Build time, it will show the usage, it will show nothing, and if I do this, it also show nothing. Why? So if it's a start, oh sorry, forgot to write your here. So it will show the usage as it is wrong command. So good for now. So let's try implementing the start, stop, and start function. So for now we have to store the data in somewhere in the file. So we have to create a file. Firstly we have to create a state, right? So what we can have is, we'll define a file, state file, you can name this state file to be something like .dev timer. So we'll have a file named dev timer, so we'll store that in the home of the user. So now we'll define a state struct. So struct ru switch struct, which name will be state. So we'll define struct for the state. So what will contain? It will contain if it's running or not. If it's running, and there are what we can have time, so something like time, and we can count says how many sessions are being active. So in sessions, and what we can have, so we'll have a int running, so it will determine if the state is being running or not. So after that we have a time, which will basically be the current time, started time. So we'll third have sessions, how many sessions are there active, so we'll have that, and we'll have the seconds, right? So you can call it the start time, right? Start time, and we'll call it seconds, how many seconds have passed, right? So you can call the states. So we need two functions to load the state, and we save the state, right? So let's first define the necessary functions. Start, so function is start, function is stop, and another function is states, right? So we have three functions, start, stop, and states. Similarly, we will need two functions for saving the state and for loading the state, right? Quite good. Is it visual, right? So it's visible. So what we can have is so in the start, basically what we'll have, we will get on a new state t. Sorry, we'll have a new state. Can name is state, right? Can name is state. We'll have a new state and start one. So we have to call the load one, right? So in the start timer, so start one, we have to first initialize the state and load the previous one. So we need a function that loads from the file if there is existing data. So if not, we will create a new state then. So we will need a void load state function, and also a void save state. So we need three functions, so two functions for the load state and the save state. So what we can have is, first in the load state we have to open the file, we have to just read the state and convert it into the state object, this object, right? So what we can have is, we first need a function. So this file will be stored in the home, so we need a function that actually gives us the path of the file from the home, right? So we need a new function, void path, something like get path. We'll need this path, so it will return a string, so it will be a pointer, character pointer. So what we'll have, we'll need a string to return, right? So we'll have a path variable, and we will right, so const character path, something like the maximum will be the 512. So just have s print f, so we'll be in the path. So I think we have something get home, something I think get env. So can we do like this? Does it work? So we'll do it later. So for my now, so we can like do right. So our file will be stored there, right? So what we'll have is something. So what we'll have is percentage hash and percentage slash percentage hash, and first parameter is the home one. Second will be the actual state file, right? So the string. Oh, sorry, I have been saying a save for a long time. So this one, so it will basically return the path. I think it will return like this, right? So we can directly return this, right? So what we can have, we can make this path static, so we can return this. So it's the sound, okay. So now what we can do is start. So we'll just create a state, right? So we have to call in the load state. So in the load state, so basically we have the path now, get path. So what we can do is we can open the file, right? Firstly, what we can do is file equal to f open. So file will be the get path, and it will be in the read binary mode, right? So why always the new beam? So we'll have this type of thing. So it will be a pointer. So now what we can do, if file is null, if fp no, so just printf reader. So what, instead of showing error, so we have to create, right? So in the load state, if the file is not available, right, we don't have to show the error, right? So what we can have is so in the load state, so we also have to pass a state to which we'll set the value. So state, so we'll have state, we'll just set the memory as will be 0, size of state, we'll just return. So we will not show the function. So what we can have, suspicious range. So memory set of the state with 0, and the size of the pointer, just write state. Else what we'll do is we'll just read, if the file is found, we'll just read into as a length will be the size of state state. Here we will have one, and pointer will be the file pointer. Let's just return nothing, so it's a void, we'll just return nothing. So we'll just close the file pointer. So it will be the load state function, right? So similarly, let's implement the save state one, right? So it will also have state. So we have to open the file in the write mode, right? So simply can just copy this, right? So instead of read binary mode, we will be using the write binary mode. So if the file doesn't exist, then it will automatically create. So if any error occurred, so if not a file pointer, just return. So if nothing error occurred, then we can just use fwrite. So what we will write is we will write state as, and the length will be size of state. It will basically be basically 1, and the file pointer will be the fp, and we'll just close the file. So I've implemented two functions, load state and the save state. So let's say it will take a state object s and just load from the file, and if the set state similarly take a state s, and it will just save the state into that file, right? Now what we can have in the start function, we'll just create a new instance of the state. Now what we can have, we just call the load state function, right? So we'll pass the state here. So we'll pass the state here. So what we'll do after this, if s is already running, right? So we'll just return it, right? So if the state is already running, we'll just printf the timer already running, and just we will return from here. Else we will create a new timer, right? So if it's already running, we'll just return it. So else we'll create we'll calculate the current time, and we'll just save the state, right? So what we can have is state dot running will be 1 if it's already not running, so we'll make it run, and we'll set the time, start time with, I think, time can use like this. So and we'll just save the state. Right. So we have a start function, which will basically create a new state initially. So it's try to load the state. If this state is already running, so we'll just sort the error message that the timer is already running and just return. And if it's not running, so we'll make it running, and we'll just set the start time to the current time, right? So now what we can have, uh, she started, so we have to set a timer, right? So we also have to set how many minutes does the timer have to start, right? So we will need here the minutes, so how many minutes it have to run, the timer have to run, right? So what we can have is here the timer is running just focused for something minutes, percentage d minutes, right? So it will be the minutes. We'll just show the message the timer is focused for around something minutes, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? So what we can have is now, so we will sleep it, right? So we'll sleep it for minutes and 60 seconds. After that we'll sleep here after starting, right? Like this. So after that we just have to load state. Chats. So after sleeping with the time, we just have to load the state and still check if it's running or not, right? So if the state is running, so what we can have, we can calculate the in time and just save it, right? So we'll just calculate the time. We'll get the current time, and we can then subtract it, right? So state will be 0 and state dot in time, sorry, state dot seconds will be basically the in time minus start is the state dot start time, right? We can do like this, right? So you can just increase the sessions. I can just save the state and just done. Time up. So in the start function, so we initially create a state instance and try to load the state existing state into the state instance. So if the state is already running, so the timer is already running, we'll just return, right? So if it's not running, so we'll just make it running by just running is equal to 1, and we'll make the start time to the current time, and the save state will save this state into the file, right? So after that we'll show the message and the timer is focused for something minutes, and we'll just sleep for that minutes, right? So after sleeping, after time is end, so we'll again load the state, and if state is running, then we will calculate the in time, that is the current time, and we can get the total seconds it escaped by just subtracting in time and start time. So and we'll increase the sessions, right? State the session should be the increased, and we'll just save the state and just print the time up, right? So it will be our basically the start function. So we also have to in the timer, right? So in the stop, sorry, stop, we'll also create a similar pattern. We'll create a new state, we'll load in the state. If it's already running, so we'll just make it if it's already running, so we don't have to stop anything, right? So just we can do state and try to load the state, and it will be the state, and if state so if its state is not running, right, we'll just printf timer is not running, so just return, right? So in stop, we'll create an instance of the state, then we try to load the state from the file into the state instance. Then I will check if the state is running. If it's not running, we don't have to stop anything, right? So if it's not running, we'll just show the message and just return, right? So if it's running, then we have to still calculate the in time, right? So what we can have is you can just calculate the in time in the similar pattern in the we have done the start one. So time of null, then state dot running will be 0, and state dot seconds will be in minus state dot start time, and we'll just increase the sessions and save the state. Right, so similar pattern for here. So if anyone do control C here while sleeping, so it will, if it's called stop, so it will automatically be stopped, right? So and what we can do is now just show the message that timer is stopped. So right, we'll just do this. So if anyone want to get stats, so first let's try running these one. So start, we need extra parameter, right? So for print usage, where is the print usage one? So here it will have the minutes, right? So now what we can have here, check if the argument count something less than 0, right? So less than 2. If the argument count is not equal to 3, so print usage, just return. So it will be the argument value of second, right? But it's the character, right? So what we can have is here you will have the character, right? So what we can convert it into the integer. So what we can have it here is we can just convert a string into the integer, right? GV2. So we'll just convert the string into the integer and start, right? So in the stop one, we'll just call the stop function, and stat one, we'll just call stats function, right? So let's try building it. So it's the step timer to start. So we need just a minute for the one, right? So if we do 1, so the timer is focused for 1 minute, right? So after 1 minute it will automatically stop. So can I do this for now? 0.5. The timer is already running, right? I have to do Control C, so I have to do tap timer stop. So I have to do for 0.2 minutes. Oh, so it is integer, right? We can do 0.2. So just for test I will do 1. So let's wait for 1 minute. It's 30 seconds. So so it's around 3, right? I think I've started in 4 or 5. Right, so the timer has been ended automatically. So this is basically the depth timer. So we have to implement the stat function also, right? So in this stat function, what we'll have, we'll just have the total time, right? And we'll have the total sessions. But I think for the total time we just have to do the plus equal to, right? It will be time of all the sessions. So I have to do like this. Similarly for here, if we don't do this, it will be that session time. But if we want to store all the sessions total seconds, so we have to just do plus equal to, and in the stats we'll create a new state and try to load the state, right? So we'll just we don't have to check if the state is running or not, so we just have to print the total time, total seconds till now, and we'll do total sessions and total seconds, right? So what we can have is just we can have printf total time, right? Focused time, focused what time type focused time will be the percentage d, and we'll show in minutes, right? So what you can do is state that seconds divided by 60 will be in minutes. So in minutes. Similarly, total sessions will be just percentage d and states dot sessions, right? So just return. Don't. I will just do this, right? So let's try rebuilding it. So take timer states, right? Total focus time is 1 minute, and we have the total sessions to 3, right? So if I try to do, depth timer start for 2 minutes, so the timer is focused for 2 minutes, right? So if I do Control C, it's running in the background, I mean in the file, so the state will be the running, so I have to manually stop the timer if I do Control C now, right? So in the separate terminal, what I can do is, so depth timer stats, we haven't calculated everything. So what we can do is, if the timer is running for now, right? So what we can have is, we can just show another information, right? So if the state is running, so what we can say through so is the timer is running now, right? So we can do like this. So I built it for focus for 2 minutes, right? So if I try to do stats, the timer is running now, right? If I do Control C, it's still running, right? As we haven't stopped anything. So I can do depth timer stop. The timer has stopped. If I do type stats now, so it's in negative. Why it is in negative? 29457,653 minutes. Wow. So what? Oh, sorry, it is not equal to. Here is minus, right? So just remove the timer. So let's start with 2 minutes, right? So the timer is running now for no focus time, no sessions, right? So if I do Control C, still it's same. So if I do stop, the timer is stopped, and I can see now stats still. So I think I haven't built. Right. So top depth timer. So what I can have now, start for 2 minutes, Control C, stop, and if I do stats, right, so it's 0 minutes, right? So can I do %F? 2f here, but it's do you have something upload? Can I do this? No, not in session, so it's in time. So %f to 2f. So it can be a double. Result of integer division using a floating or something. So can I do this? Right. So if I do this, what can I have is our time already been in something in less than a minute, right? So previously it was showing 0. So if I do now, it will show in a floating point, that is 0.10 minutes, right? So this is the basic depth timer we have created, right? So it's around 130 line. So we can have something like this. So this is the file, and this is the timer, depth timer we have created, right? We can just create it in our. So we can have builds, we can have the cache, and we can have the timer, def timer, right? So we have basically created a CLI tool for managing the timer for the developers, right? It just provides 3 commands: so start, stop, and stats, right? So this is the code, right? So let me push it in the GitHub. What I can have, so my GitHub is logged out. Authentication code. Just create a new repository. Dev timer. Timer for developers. So I was learning to try, right? So the lazy kit. So to the main. So what we can have is can just add what we can have is just so it's good. Remote. So I'm just trying to learn, right? So you so first you have to commit, right? So we just have to first commit, right? Commit for C. So add initial initial commands for start, stop, stats. So, wow, command lock. I was just trying to learn it. Git command failed. Check command log for details. So isn't it good? Add initial commands for start, stop, and stats. Oh, sorry. So I will just hide it for now. I've created this new user now, so config global email. So let's try it. So commit message, right? So add initial commands for start, stop, and stats. So they have been committed. So what I can have, you can have something like upstream, set the bus upstream, and we'll have the main, right? So how can I have so initially very much difficult. So set upstream with the selected branch. So how can we set? Can't we have like this? So we have to write this or what? For main one? Nope. Let me try. So we already have opened this. So lazy git add remote. Add new remote. How can we? Is there anything? Status panel, file panel, branches panel, and commits panel, and stress panel. So new branch. To commit a file, I have to pull and push. There is nothing. So I'll just remove data origin. Wow. Why it not? So I've got this new user today, so I don't know what's the issue with it. SSH. Oh, we don't have the SSH key, any SSH key yet. So I forget to write the SSH key. Wow. So I'll just just copy my SSH key to here. Now I have the SSH key. Can I try now? Right, so it has been pushed. Right, so just I'll create a readme. So def timer CLI tool. So commands just have depth time start minutes depth timer stop and depth timer starts. Just now commit it. See, add basic pardon me. So just have just push right. It's pulling, so small p means pulling, capital means p means pushing right. So it's pushed. Right, so I think it's does not show like this. So minute representation talks. Right, so this is the basic depth timer. So after a long time I've been to stream. So from tomorrow we'll be continuing other recreational items, right? So I think this is for today. Bye everyone. Good night.